What's up, guys? It's Casey Zogelman, aka the fourth Sanderson sister, coming at you with part 2 of Hocus Pocus. I got a focus Q&A session back by popular demand. I will be sitting down, or I am sitting down. Haha. Either way, sitting's involved. I am sitting down to answer the questions you guys have posed over the last month. It was a pretty darn good turnout. About 15 of you, 14 or 15, can't remember exact number, of you participated. Fantastic. Everybody submitted multiple questions, and in fact, I've got 35 to answer. Whew, you guys remember in the last video when I did this, which you can watch by clicking on this thing right here, I went for about 40 minutes, so good God, who knows how freaking long this one's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be nuts. It's just gonna be nuts. So, this is just a chill session with me where I get to share my thoughts on your questions and your queries about Hocus Pocus and other things, maybe just other stuff I might be into, like one person who we'll get to. I'm very excited, so let's just dive right in. So my first question, because it was on a different thread, but don't worry, I see you, is from Leon Lee. He has one question, and it's, how many times do you watch Hocus Pocus? I watch it weekly. Okay, well, Leon, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't watch it every week, but I'd say collectively over my 26 years on this earth and 22 years of being a devoted fangirl of this movie ever since I was 4 years old, I've probably watched it close to 1,000 times, if not longer, or if not more. I watch it mostly now whenever I'm really in a bad place, because it's my comfort movie. It is the movie I reach for whenever things are not going well in my life, or I'm just having a really bad bout with my depression, or just I've had a really, really bad day, whatever it is, I reach for it then. So that can vary. I can go a couple of months without watching it, and then something will happen and I end up watching it, or I can go a couple of days and have to watch it periodically throughout a whole week. I mean, it really just varies. Now, overall, how many times I've watched it, if I had to say, it'd probably be in the ballpark of 1,000 times. I'd love to say I watch it weekly, but a lot of times I'm just watching old sitcoms while I'm doing other stuff, like prepping for the channel, or playing a video game, or something like that. I just have stuff on for background noise, and whenever I put Hocus Pocus on, it's usually because I want to focus on it, and I really want to just immerse myself in their world again, and be back with the Sanderson sisters and everybody, and just detox. So with it being my comfort movie, it really just kind of varies on when I watch it, or how many times I watch it in a month or so. So yeah, but no, you can bet during October, it's like, that's when we're doing it weekly, if not every other day sometimes. Like, yeah, it just varies for me. So thank you for that question. It's very near and dear to my heart, and it's my comfort movie. It's one of the most important things in my entire life. So, yeah, it just varies. So, next question. Okay, now we'll go to the big thread. Whew. This is gonna be nuts. You guys gave me some awesome stuff to talk about. Some of you put multiple parts in your questions, and I just kind of want to tell you that was cheating, but I see you, and that was cheeky, but I admire it. So, okay, we're gonna go in order of how it is, except the first one has, the commenter put 2 different comments at 2 different times, so I'm gonna go down and find his, and then we'll continue in the just downward order. So, the second round of questions comes from Only Seth Davis. As we can pretty much guess, Disney will probably redeem the Sanderson sisters. I think this is partly because of the huge hit it has become over the years, and that because the witches are so hilarious, 99% of the fans don't necessarily root for them to kill children, but they don't want the witches to die either. Yes, it's a very complicated emotion, because you're just like, I'm cheering on murderers, but I can't help it! because they have become icons of the childhoods of multiple generations at this point. So how do you think that has impacted the storyline for Hocus Pocus 2? And if the sequel was released, let's say, in 1996, do you think they would have remained villains instead of anti-heroes? And how different do you think the film would be? Whew. Man, you always come in here just like swinging with your questions, because you got me with the last one too. Yes, I agree with you. I think we're getting redemption in one form or another. Maybe that's just with their childhood. I really don't know. I'm trying to stay dark on several of these details because I really want some surprises when I go in. But yes, I agree. I think we're going to be seeing a redemption arc. How that the popularity of villain redemption has impacted the storyline for Hocus Pocus 2. It's like I've said in the last couple of videos, female villain redemption is really on the upswing as compared. I tried to say compelled and compared at the same time, and it just... Okay. Editing Casey doesn't have to worry about this too much, because she's just like, nah, your flubs are staying in tonight. So, the female villains are getting a lot more redemption than the males, and with these three being such, like he said, such icons for multiple generations, in multiple walks of life, it makes sense that they would redeem them, just because we don't want to watch them die again. I know I don't want to watch them die again, because I'm like, it's been 29 years. I have gotten 3 big pieces of my heart back. It's like, oh my gosh, they're back. I'm gonna get to see them again. I'm gonna get to hear them talk again. It's just, it blows my mind that it's happening, and I don't want it to end. It's like, I am not emotionally prepared to watch them die again. Because when I was 4, the first time I watched Hocus Pocus, there are not many things I remember from my childhood. I fully admit to that. There are not many things. I remember the elation and just the hyper fixation on Hocus Pocus that I had the second I watched it. The second those witches came on the screen, I was just like, oh, I really like this. I really like them. They are my new favorite everything. I mean, it was total just, I like this thing and I don't want to lose this thing. They make me laugh. They make me happy. And then they died at the end of the movie, and I do believe little me cried. I'm pretty sure little me cried fairly hard that the 3 witches that she just so instantly fell in love with were so quickly taken away from her. And like, I remember as I would go through and I'd watch, I would stop the movie before they would turn to dust, because I was just like, I can't watch them turn to dust. I don't want to watch them turn to dust. They're always going to live. So, I really think a lot of that has impacted the storyline of just how much they mean to people, and the fact that we've had Maleficent and we've had Cruella come out. I think that a lot of those factors have really impacted the storyline for Hocus Pocus 2, because it's so important to so many people. It really is. It is so important to so many of us. So I think they're going to get the redemption simply because we all love them. They're heroes to all of us, even though, yes, they are the bad guys and they do very bad things. But I think we're going to get to see them be heroes in a way. I'm not saying that they're not going to, like, double-cross the new protagonists or anything, because that would totally be in their character. I don't know. God, I don't know, man. I think a lot of stuff has impacted that, and I think it's just the biggest impact is that they are so special to everyone, and I think everyone in the cast and crew understands that, so they're handling it with, like, kid gloves. So I don't know. I think a lot of stuff has impacted this, and we're going to see it play out in a few months, which is just so surreal. And to answer your second part, say it was released in 1996 instead of a 29-year gap, we had a 3-year gap. I definitely think it would have just been another, oh, the villains are back, gotta get rid of the villains again. Because, I mean, we haven't had that time where villains are kind of moving into the good guys. Back then, it was all just black and white. There was good and there was evil. There was no gray. The gray area really hadn't started yet. So I think they would have remained villains for sure, instead of becoming like anti-heroes or something that I strongly suspect is going to happen in the sequel. I think that film would have been a lot different. I don't know. It's weird. These are really good questions, but because I don't really have anything to compare it to, I don't know how to answer them. So I'm doing my best. So I really think it would have been a different film than what I think we're going to get. But I think either way it would have rocked. I think this one's going to rock our socks off, and we're so rushed to judge it because it's, like I've said, it is so very near and dear to all of us that we're like, it has to be perfect, it can't have any flaws. And part of me agrees with that, but everything's going to have a little flaw. And we just have to accept that. I really think this one is going to rock our socks off no matter what happens, and I think we're all going to be just really happy at the end of the day that we even got this. As I've said before, if the girls came back, this is gonna be a good movie, because Bette Midler loves Winifred. She loves Winifred so much that if they were mishandling this story, I guarantee you she would not have condoned it, and they would have recast and it would have been garbage. So the fact that we've got all three of them back gives me so much hope. So there you go, Seth, those are those, and then you did have one more at the bottom, which actually I don't even remember. I don't even need to look at it to remember what it was, and your other question was, if Hocus Pocus 2 is terrible, will you be able to admit it? I'll be able to admit it, but I will not be happy about admitting it, because believe me, I will be ballistic if this is bad. Which, again, I don't think that's going to be a problem. So thank you for your questions, only Seth Davis. Moving on! Alright. These come from my best friend in the entire world. Well, one of my best friends in the entire world. I have other friends who watch this and they just probably went, "Excuse me?" No. She's one of my best friends in the entire world. She's my oldest friend, Sarah May. Her first question, how much Hocus Pocus merchandise do you actually own? Do you mean official merchandise or unofficial merchandise? Because unofficially, I probably own more of that. But officially, I own almost everything from the Spirit Halloween collection. I own curtains that are the Sanderson sisters. They're very pretty. You can't see them because my desk doesn't face that direction. Those are unofficial. My bedspread and my pillowcases are all unofficial. Pretty much all of my t-shirts, like this one right here, are unofficial, but they come from Etsy, so I love supporting the small businesses on there, and they make really good stuff. This is one of my favorite shirts, because it's just so comfortable. It's so comfy, and it's so cute. Like, I love this one, and I've got posters and fan art, and, like, that painting back there, I don't know that I would call that merchandise, but my chiropractor and friend Amy Edlin, who is also a subscriber on this channel, actually painted this, and she didn't know what to do with it, so she gave it to me. And it has been prominent in the background ever since I've gotten it, so thank you, Amy. I've got posters, some of them are official releases, several of them are not. My calendar, my pop figures, all of that is official merchandise. But I have a lot of unofficial merchandise too, because those come from Etsy, but it's all really quality stuff, and I love it so much. So, the answer is a lot. I was not going to freaking count every piece of this. I would have been there forever. So, the answer is a lot. I love you. Thank you. Number 2, do you think the cat spell is going to be used again in the sequel? Why or why not? Absolutely not. They have done it before. I don't think they're going to reprise that. If they do anything, they'll do something different. I actually talked about this in a conversation with another subscriber on a video the other day. I can't remember where it is. But they asked me if I thought another talking animal or something would make an appearance. Frankly, I don't know that I want another talking animal. I think it would be a lot of fun if they, like, animated a jack-o'-lantern that started talking or something like that. Something like a Halloween decoration, I think, would be really interesting. They've already done the cat spell. I really don't think we're getting that again. Because I want to see different magic from them. I don't want to see the same thing again. I want to see some new magic from them. And I think they're going to give us that. Number 3, what is your favorite piece of Hocus Pocus trivia that not everyone may know about? Okay, I thought this was really weird, but I do know this. There was a contractual obligation from Bette Midler that they had to get a close-up of her feet in the movie, and that is why we zoom in on Winifred's feet in the town hall. So there you go. That's probably my favorite odd piece of trivia. So there you go. All right. Thank you, Sarah May. I love you very much. All right. The next one is from one of my regulars with all the fan theories and all the headcanons and all the fan fiction universe stars. We're coming at you. So, number 1. If you were the 4th Sanderson sister in an AU where this theory is canon, how would you react, and would you persuade Sarah and Mary to turn on Winnie? I don't know what you mean by react, because I don't know what I'm reacting to. But I will answer the other part. I don't necessarily think I'd convince them to turn on Winnie. Maybe try to, like, bring her over. I don't know. My relationship with them, at least in my head, I wouldn't necessarily be a bad witch, and I feel like I'd have that effect on them to where they start kind of understanding that they could do more with their magic than what they do. So I think that's more of the effect. I wouldn't persuade them to turn on her, absolutely not. But maybe try to, like, bring all 3 of them gradually over. So there's that one. Number 2, if you were the 4th sister, what would your witch power be related to children? Like how Sarah lures them into a trap and Mary smells them. I'm gonna be honest, I think it'd be more like Winifred and have an elemental power like her, and it would be snow and ice. I would have ice powers. That has always been my headcanon if I were a witch. Number 3, if you were trapped in a room with one of the sisters, who'd it be? I'm gonna go on and say Sarah, simply because I just wouldn't get bored. Like, I would not get bored with her in the room. I think I'd have, like, decent conversation with Mary, but after a while we'd run out of things to talk about. Winifred just probably wouldn't speak at all. She'd just be her. I think I would have more fun if Sarah was stuck in a room with me, because you just wouldn't be bored with anything that you never know what's coming out of her mouth. I'd just be like, okay, that's okay. You wouldn't be bored. So yeah, Sarah. Thank you very much, Universe Stars. Whew, moving on. After I get a drink, stay hydrated, kids. We're not even halfway done. Woo! Jinx and Nezuko has the next set of questions. Number 1, if you ever met the Sanderson sisters in real life, what do you think your reaction would be? I would die on the spot, because I would just be overwhelmed with excitement and adrenaline. I would just die on the spot, and they'd just be going, well, that happened. I would be very, very excited and very, very, very happy. Like, that'd be little toddler Casey just going, it's my favorite people. Okay. So, number 2, kind of a continuation of the first question. If you had a choice to join either the witches on the bad side or decide with the good guys, which side would you choose? Is this really even a question? Of course I'm joining the witches. Of course I'm going with them. I'd have way more fun going with them. It would not be boring. I love them too much. I would never go against them. Number 3, which of the Sanderson sisters' outfits is your favorite? Ooh, that's a good question, because they're all very unique and they're very cool. They all have their style. I've never really thought about this. As somebody who has cosplayed all 3 of them, I'll say the most comfortable one I ever had was Sarah's. But in terms of style, I'm gonna give it to Winifred just because I really like how her dress looks with the big flowing sleeves and all the ornate symbols and stuff on it. I like hers the best in that aspect. Hers is really cool. Mary's is also really nice. I like all 3 of their costumes, but design-wise, I think Winifred's is probably the coolest. So there you go. Oh, by the way, your videos are awesome. I'm a pretty big fan of the sisters, too. Well, you are always welcome here, then, Jinx and Nezuko. Thank you. Thank you for giving me your questions, and I had a lot of fun answering those. Thank you. Okie dokie. Princess X. If we see the sister's mother being killed for witchcraft in the sequel, how do you think each of the sisters would react? I think Winnie would be angry and both Sarah and Mary would cry. By the way, I love your videos. I adore the Sanderson sisters. Thank you very much, Princess X. You're always welcome here. So I have given this a lot of thought because I honestly think it plays into a lot of how they are when we meet them. Yes, I agree with you. Winifred would just be blinded with rage. Like, that would be a fireball of scary. She would be just enraged because she would not cry. She would skip the tears and go straight to righteous anger and fury. So I agree with you on that. Mary, I think, would just be too stunned to do anything. She might cry a little, but I think she would just be, like, frozen. And then she looks to her older sister, of course, as now the head of the family, so I think that's why she's kind of up Winifred's butt. Because at that point, she's, like, the only person we can count on now is Winnie. I think she would just be frozen. Sarah! The word trauma comes to mind. Because, well, if we look at her, she's very stunted in her mindset. She is very juvenile and childlike. So I feel like hers would just be an instant trauma response. She would be crying, screaming, freaking out because she is the baby of the family. And her big sister is now just, like, righteous fury, fire everywhere, bad things are happening. So she can't even find comfort from Winifred. Mary is just, she's traumatized in her own way, and she's just kind of, like, clinging to Winnie and not really paying much attention to Sarah. So I think Sarah just kind of gets emotionally stunted at that point, and yeah, trauma. So that's why I think she is the way she is with the whole childlike mindset and being as goofy as she is. She just kind of stopped growing mentally at that point, but continued growing physically. So she does kind of, so with the childlike mindset, yes, but then obviously when the birdies and the beesies happen, she does grow up a little bit in that aspect, but the way she refers to the boys is let me play with them and all this stuff. So I think a lot of that is just the trauma kind of played into that, how she is. So I think they would all have a different trauma response. Winifred would just be righteous fury. Mary would just be stunned, just frozen. And then Sarah would just automatic trauma response. So there you go, Princess X. That was a dark question. Thank you. Alright, this is from User. Do you hope that the sequel will still have the dark/horror undertone of the first movie, considering the fact that society has changed? I hope so. It's what made the film good. Yes, I hope so too, because I don't think you could do Hocus Pocus without it. Like, you could not do Hocus Pocus without the dark, creepy undertone of the entire thing with soul-stealing witches. Like, you gotta have that in some aspect. Because, I mean, we made jokes about the devil in the first movie. And I just, yeah, I hope so. Because if not, it's going to lose a lot of its charm. I don't think we have to worry about that too much right now. But we'll see when the teaser trailer drops, which better freaking be next week, I swear. Yeah, I think it's going to, and I think it should. I agree with you. It definitely should. But yes, society has changed a lot since 1993, and a lot of parents would not be pleased with what goes on in this movie. Nowadays, others would be fine with it. I think they need it, though. I think they need it, and it would hurt it if they didn't have it. So there's my answer to that one. And your second question, whose broomstick is your favorite? The original 1600s brooms. Sarah's is the coolest. I'm I'm unapologetic about my bias towards her broom because it's cool. I like the double brushes. I like the 2 brush heads. I think that's really, really cool looking. I think it's a very unique design because you never see anything like that. In all the other movies I've ever watched, Harry Potter, Halloween Town, etc., with broomsticks in it, you've never seen a double brush head anywhere but Hocus Pocus with Sarah. Hers is the coolest. Arguably the coolest. So yes, Sarah's is my favorite. Thank you for those questions, user. Alright. Oh, coming on down the line is Just a Normal Life with 3 questions. Number 1, during what month do you think the Hocus Pocus 2 trailer will drop? It better be next week. I really think it's supposed to hit in May, because by the time May rolls around, October will be 5 months away, which is definitely when it's coming out, is October. Doctor Strange is when it should drop because he's a freaking sorcerer. They're witches. Magic is involved in both properties. It makes freaking sense to drop it with him. And even though it is a Disney Plus, because somebody brought this up, they were like, well, I don't know if they would advertise a Disney Plus movie in the theaters. They did it with Lady and the Tramp, which was a Disney Plus exclusive. They can and will and have done it. And number 3, it's the next big blockbuster where they're going to want to attach all of their big trailers to. I know Avatar 2 is getting one. Lightyear most likely will be in there because that just dropped. You know they're going to be putting Thor Love and Thunder in there. This is stuff they're all going to want you to spend money on. And what do they want you to spend money on for Hocus Pocus 2? Disney Plus. So I really think we're going to get it with him. If it's not even in the previews in the theater, I really think we're going to get a teaser trailer next week. They really faked us out this week with the halfway to Halloween thing, and they had the whole watch along on Twitter of Hocus Pocus on Wednesday, and then they were like, oh yeah, coming in fall of 2022, Hocus Pocus 2. I'm like, we already know this, you trolls! How dare you! So, because a lot of us, I think we were all just kind of like, okay, we're getting something. We are absolutely getting something. And then it turned out to just be that. And then they announced that the Hocus Pocus Spectacular is coming back to Disney World. And that just, to be fair, that does give me a reason to go to Disney World now. But, yeah, I think we were all expecting something. So I really think it's going to be May for all the reasons that I listed out. Number 2, would you like to see the sisters' powers all mixed up in Hocus Pocus 2? For example, Sarah could use the lightning power, Winnie the sniffing power, and Mary the singing powder. No, I don't think I want to see them do a power swap. I want to see them stick with their things. If anything, I think they should be able to just use each other's powers in tandem with their own because they are blood. But no, I don't want to see them all mixed up. I want them to stay with their niches. Alright. Number 3, would you like to see the sisters talking with the real Satan this time in Hocus Pocus 2? No, because it's funnier when they don't know the difference. It's so much funnier. I think it's a better sight gag than actually doing the real thing. Plus, I don't think Disney would be doing that. Let's be real, I just don't see Disney doing that. I don't think it would be as funny as just like what they did with Gary Marshall, R.I.P. Like, that was really funny. If they wanted to kind of reprise that joke, I'd be fine with it, but I don't think we need the real thing necessarily. So thank you for those questions. Just a Normal Life. Alright, the next 3 are from Linda Clark, who participated in the last one. Good to see you back. Number 1, what do you think Sarah's reaction will be to seeing Billy, and will she leave her sisters to join him? I think she'll be excited like she was in the first one. I don't think she'll leave her sisters to join him, because frankly I think he's gonna join them. Like, I really think his character arc is going to happen in reverse this time, and he's gonna join them. So, there you go. I don't think she'll leave them because he's gonna join them. Number 2, do you think the sisters will survive in Hocus Pocus 2? God, I hope so. Or if they don't, can we get like a Haunted Mansion style send off to where we can get like an emotional goodbye and just a nice little parting of the ways instead of watching them freaking explode again? I would appreciate that. I would appreciate not having to watch that again. So, God, I hope so. Number 3, do you think the story will flow as well without the 4 main protagonists? Okay. I have given so much crap to the new people, and honest to goodness, I actually feel very bad about it. Every time I'd finish a video where I'd done a brief little tangent about saying, like, nobody cares what the new people are up to, we're only here for the Sanderson sisters, that is half true, because a lot of us, we do love Max, Allison, and Danny, and Binks. We love them. They are very endearing to us. We love them so much. But it could have been any other kids. And the same thing would have happened. And they would have been near and dear to our hearts too. So I think the story's gonna flow fine without them. It is a bummer that we're not gonna get what we were originally supposed to, with Danny being like really heavily involved. But I think it's gonna flow fine. My worry is that they will mess up their formula from the first one, which was 2 stories happening simultaneously where the antagonist position is kind of swapped depending on who you're watching. Because, like, excuse me, when you're watching Max, Allison, and Danny and Binks' point of view, the sisters are the antagonists. But when you're looking at it from the sisters' point of view, Max, Allison, Danny, and Binks are the antagonists. It's a very give and take story, and I don't want them to mess up that formula. I mean, I do think we're going to focus more on the Sanderson sisters this time, but with good reason. I don't want them to spend too much time, because this was a huge issue with me in the sequel book that I'm still trying to forget exists, because they spent, first of all, they did it in first person from the main hero's perspective, and that automatically screwed things up, because we are spending way too much time with one party, whereas this is a very two-sided story. This is very much, there are 2 A stories happening at the same time, not necessarily an A and a B story. They are 2 A stories that work together. The B story of Hocus Pocus is Max trying to woo Allison. But we spend enough time in both perspectives, and it feels like 2 A stories and then a B story. I don't want the sisters to become a B story, like they were in that book. Because that really messed a lot of stuff up for me, and it just wasn't what it could have been. So I think the story will flow well as long as they stick to the formula from the first one. Or if you're going to focus more on a certain party, definitely focus more on the ones that we care the most about, which is the witches. I'm not saying we don't care about the kids. I know I have said that. I'm on record saying that a couple of times, and I do feel bad about it. But they are only part of the driving force of this movie. The sisters are a very big driving force, and if we spend too much time focusing on the la-di-da teenagers, it's not so good. It's not so good. So, we've seen an example of how not to do it. I would like to not see that come to fruition, so I think the story's going to flow fine. As long as they do it right. So thank you, Linda, for those questions. That was great. Alright, so the next 3 are from Starbright Otaku. If you could meet any 3 fictional characters other than the Sanderson sisters, who would it be? Bellatrix Lestrange, Angelique Bouchard, and the witch from the Broadway musical Into the Woods. Not the Disney version, the Broadway version, where she's a very good character who's not flat as a freaking doormat. So, all three of them. 3 of my favorite witches in the entire world. 3 of my favorite characters in the entire world. Those are my 3. Have you ever seen Tiny Toon Adventures, and if so, who's your favorite character? Woo! We're getting throwback! Alright, we are going to a throwback. Yes, I have seen Tiny Toon Adventures, and I very much enjoy it. It is a lot of fun. My favorite character, though, Plucky Duck. Specifically young Plucky, because I don't care how many times I watch it. Anytime he says, "Elevator go down the hole," I laugh. I laugh every freaking time. I love Baby Plucky so much. So yes, Tiny Toon Adventures, I have seen it, and it's Baby Plucky by a mile. But if I had to choose between Tiny Toons and Animaniacs, I'm sorry, I will say Animaniacs every single time, because the Warner Brothers and their sister Dot are perfection, and so is Slappy Squirrel. Slappy Squirrel's my freaking spirit animal. So, you have one more for me. If you could change one thing in the Hocus Pocus movie, the first Hocus Pocus movie, what would it be and why? Roll film!
And the book said, yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. Yes. Oil of boil and a dead man's nose. Dead man's toes! She's trying to concentrate now.
Yeah, it's always gonna come back to this. I would change one thing. It would be that they freaking listen to Sarah, because that is the cringiest, most painful moment of the entire friggin' film that I cannot let go. I understand this has become a running gag on this channel, but I swear it bothers me so much. It did not bother me when I was a child, and I barely paid attention to what that was. I was just like, oh, Sarah's being funny. Once I figured out what she said when I got older, I was like, oh, you fools! You fools! So, yes, that bothers me so much. I would change that one thing. I would change that one thing to where they would listen to her. So thank you very much, Starbright Otaku. Those were actually a lot of fun. Thank you. Alright, my boy or my girl, I can't tell. My friend, Solo Winters, has the next 3. If you had to be one of the witches, who would you choose? Ooh, that'd be fun. If I had to be any of them, I'm gonna say Mary, because she is in the most comfortable position in the trio. She has not made anybody mad. She's kind of the caregiver. She floats under the radar. She's there for somebody when they need her. She's got the most practical freaking power out of all 3 of them. I would want to be Mary. I never gave myself that question before, and I've thought about a lot of this a lot of times. Oh yeah, I would want to be Mary, because I love Sarah so much, but God, I don't think I could handle being that hyper all the time. I'm too tired for that. And Winnie's just got too much pent-up anger. I go to therapy for a reason. So, I don't think I could be either one of them. Mary just, that is the most comfortable position you could ever be in. So, I'm gonna say Mary. If you were a witch, what would your powers be? What would your name be? And what would you do as a witch? You cheated. Those were 3 questions in one sentence, but I respect you. Ice powers, I would change Casey to Cassandra. Or Cassandra. I would prefer it to be pronounced Cassandra as a witch. And what would I do? I'd just be an ice witch. I'd just be an ice witch, literally chilling in my house. Alright, if you could make your own Hocus Pocus film, what would the plot be and who would star? Other than the trio. If I could make a Hocus Pocus film, I don't think I would. Because it's too perfect. Like, I appreciate the question, but I've never ever given that a thought, and anything I've ever thought about with Hocus Pocus, it always involves those 3. And it would never change. And I'm afraid if I say the R word, you guys know which one, that it'll happen eventually, and I don't want to see that happen. No one should play them but the trio. You hear me, Disney? You hear me? Okay. Just making sure. So, yeah, I honestly don't have an answer to that one because I've never thought about it before. Anytime I've ever written anything for Hocus Pocus, the Sanderson sisters, that 3 are present. So thank you for those questions, Solo Winters. Whew! 3 more to go. Alright. The next set is from Cheyenne Grubbs, and I will get to you as soon as I take a drink of water. Whew, okay. Excuse me. How would the black flame candles survive as they are supposed to be resurrected in a similar way as the first film? I don't think it's going to be the same candle. I think it's going to be the whole merchandising thing, since it is a magic shop now. I think they're going to be selling the dark flame candles as like, oh, here's this thing. You can light it and it makes pretty colors. I have something like that. Over there, I don't know if you guys can see it, actually. No, you can't. It's way off camera. Hang on. So, I actually have something like that. I have my, what I call blue flame candle, that I actually bought from Bette Midler's charity in 2020. So, it does work. Well, if I can get the lighter to work. Here we go. I gotta get it to light. Sometimes this thing is finicky. Oh, see? Nope, there it goes. This wick has not wanted to stay lit ever since I bought it. It's honestly quite pitiful. Come on! Oh, God. How much of this am I going to be editing out? There! Nope. Okay, stay lit for 2 seconds. So as you can see, it burns blue. I'm going to try to explain this really fast before it does that. Okay, you guys saw it. You guys saw it. I'm not fiddling with this thing anymore. I have one of those. I think it's going to go like that. It's like, oh, here, light it. Blue flame. Yay. You just lit the black flame candle. Good for you. I think that's how that's going to go. Personally. So, I don't think it's going to be the same one. I think it's going to be the dark flame candle. And because Becca is a practicing witch, she's going to buy one and she's going to light it thinking, oh yeah, I'll just light this in my room. And then, oh no, I did a bad thing. So, yeah, I think that's how it's going to work. She accidentally brings them back like that. So I don't think it's the same one. If the heroes from the first film were in the movie, do you think they would have mental health issues? The word trauma comes to mind. Little PTSD. Yes, they would. But I don't know exactly how Disney would approach that safely in a comedy. Because it's not a joke. Mental health is not a joke at all. As someone who struggles with mental health issues. Yes, the word trauma comes to mind for a good reason. Because they were in a very life-threatening situation. So yes, but I don't know how they would have approached that safely. To where it wouldn't upset people. What comedy do you think the director will add in for the Sanderson sisters to navigate? If I don't get a scene of them talking to Siri or Alexa, I'm going to be very upset. Because I need that so bad. That was the one thing in that crappy book that was done right. I need to see them talk to either an Alexa or a Siri. I don't care which one. I just need it to happen. I would also kind of like to see them take an Uber. I think it would be funny if they did the Uber thing. But we're not going to get my dream for that one. I wanted Mortal Busboy to come back as an Uber driver, and he's confirmed he's not in the movie, and I'm just like, no! But, you know, as we discussed in a previous question, society has changed, and he's not PC anymore, which is a shame, because he was very funny. R.I.P. Mortal Busboy. So, yeah, I think they're gonna put in a little modern traps like that. Like I said, if I don't get that scene of Siri or Alexa, I'm gonna be upset. Alright, this one is from Cameron Latham. If you had to pick one of the following to play your dream Mama Sanderson, who would it be? Angelica Houston, Cher, Dolly Parton, or Helena Bonham Carter? Also, what would you name Mama Sanderson? Okay, So, as we all know, my dream role, or my dream casting, was Cloris Leachman, number 1, and then she passed away. And then it was Betty White, and she passed away. Someone go check on Carol Burnett after I say this. Carol was my third choice, because all 3 of them have spot-on comedic timing, and they would have been so perfect paired up with them. But of these 3, or 4, I can count. Of these 4, it's not just because I'm a little biased. It's not just because I'm a little biased. It's Helena. Absolutely 100% Helena Bonham Carter. Because we all know she can play a really good, bad, cray-cray witch. Yeah, it's Helena by a mile. For me, personally. I've never been a big Cher fan. Please don't crucify me for that. I love Dolly Parton, but I don't want her being an evil witch. She is too perfect the way she is. Leave Dolly Parton out of this. She's wonderful. Angelica Houston would also be really good. But, Helena. Absolutely. What would I name her? I don't know why, but the Shakespearean name Desdemona always comes to my mind. So that would probably be what I would name her. Is Desdemona. But yeah, no, absolutely. Helena Bonham Carter. Number 1 stan. So, thank you for that question. Or those questions, Cameron Latham. Last set. Here we go. Last but not least, Isaiah Green. If you were in Hocus Pocus, what would you think your powers would be? I love you guys, but you have asked me this 3 times now. Ice. Snow. Cold magic. Cold elemental magic. Number 2, if you had to not like one of the sisters, who would it be? Why did you ask me this? How dare you make me choose favorites? If I had to not like one of them, that's just... I like all 3 of them. This is a hard question. This is mean. I don't want to say this. I don't want to say it. It's Winnie. I think we just wouldn't get along. Or if we did, it would take a lot of work. Yeah, if I had to not like one of the sisters, I guess it would be Winifred. I don't feel good about this answer. But it'd be Winnie. Number 3, what is your ultimate subscriber goal? How many you want to give me? Right now, my subscriber goal is 1,000 because I keep thinking that's not reachable, but you guys keep showing up, so like, please smash the subscribe button. I would like 1,000 of you, please. At least by the time Hocus Pocus 2 comes out, I would like that. Pretty please. I guess my ultimate goal is however many you guys want to give me. If you like this channel that much, it'd be great. I mean, if I was to break 1,000, I think I would just plots, because I'm like, what? People like listening to me ramble about Hocus Pocus for like, what are we going on now, an hour? Yeah, we've been going for about an hour. So yeah, I mean, how many you want to give me? What's your ballpark number that you'd like to see this channel reach? Because I'll probably say yes. I would just really like to see this channel grow. My ultimate subscriber goal right now is just 1,000, because I think that would be a very big feat for me if I could just hit 1,000. That would be really great. So yeah, your 3 questions were great, man. I'm so sorry that, like, one of your questions got answered twice before this. If you want to leave me another one, I'll happily type an answer back as a freebie. But thank you so much, Isaiah Green, for those. That was great. Those are actually all of the questions. We're done! Oh my goodness! And we clocked in at 50 minutes! Yeah. Yeah, we've been going for about an hour. Woo! That was awesome. Oh my gosh. A lot of y'all turned up for this one. I was very happy about that. Yo, guys. We did it. We did it. We did it again. It was a lot of fun. I love doing these with you guys because you always come up with such interesting questions. Only Seth Davis, you have gotten me twice now with yours. Because I think the last one, you are what inspired that whole video on should the Sanderson sisters be redeemed, because that was your question from the last one in, like, I think it was early January, and I sat there with, like, crickets chirping going, I don't know, and you got me again with yours. You get me every time. Sarah May, thank you so much for coming again. Oh my gosh, everybody who participated, thank you so much. It means a lot that you guys turn up to hear me ramble about Hocus Pocus every week, which is why we're doing a double upload this week, because I enjoy spending time with you guys. And I actually got a really good suggestion from a commenter today, and for the life of me I cannot remember what their name was. Hang on just a second. Ah, it's you. This is from Electric DD88. They suggested you should do a Hocus Pocus watch party leading up to the release of the sequel. And I'm issuing you guys a challenge. If you guys can hit 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers by September 15th, this is your end goal. If we can hit 1,000 by September 15th, the night before, whatever night it is, Hocus Pocus 2 releases, the night before, I will set up a live stream. I will live stream me watching the movie, because I can't really live stream the movie without Disney coming down on me going, what are you doing? So I'll be watching it on my TV. You guys can watch along either on Disney Plus or DVDs or VHS, however you have it. I will give you guys the go on when to hit play, and we will watch it together. We will do a watch party of Hocus Pocus the night before Hocus Pocus 2 drops. If you guys can promise me we hit 1,000 by September 15th. There is your challenge. Challenge extended. Do you accept the challenge? Because I am more than willing to try to do this. I don't know how well my internet will do, but I'm willing to push its limits. If we can hit 1,000, and we will do a live stream watch along where we will all hang out in the chat, and we will watch Hocus Pocus, and we will talk about it, and we will theorize what's going to happen the next day, and then we'll have the sequel the next day. But I'm not saying I'll live stream that one. That one's going to be a recorded full watch along, as I've stated. I've already got that planned. So that's your challenge. 1,000 by September 15th, we will do a live stream watch along of Hocus Pocus the night before Hocus Pocus 2 comes out. If you guys want to do that, make it happen. I think it's going to be a lot of fun if we do reach that, because I do like talking about it, obviously. Otherwise this channel wouldn't exist. So I think we'd have a lot of fun with it. So you guys got to work it. You guys got to work it. You got to hit that subscribe. If you're not subscribed, you got to share this channel with your friends. If they like Hocus Pocus, share it. Ask them to subscribe. We hit 1,000, you get your live stream watch along. So there you go, guys. We're done. Your challenge has been extended. I've got some more fun content on the way. I have been going down the content list I have saved in my Google Docs, which is ever growing. To be fair, half of it's for when Hocus Pocus 2 comes out, because I've got a lot of videos planned for that. It's going to get nuts around here whenever that movie drops. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, guys. I'm really ready. I'm ready for a teaser trailer. Because I'm uploading this on a Saturday, and we cross your fingers, cross all of your fingers, cross your toes, cross your eyes, cross everything you can cross. We might get a teaser trailer next week. Nothing is confirmed. But we might get a teaser next week. Swear to God, we better get a teaser next week, Disney. I'm not kidding. Don't you dare fake us out again. I'm gonna get you if you do. I'm just gonna do kind of a goofy one on Monday. It's gonna be real short. And it'll be fun. I think you guys are gonna like it. It's gonna be really goofy. You know how we did the Hocus Pokemon? That was just for fun. That was for goof off. That was just for content that I needed to put out. I am going to do a romantic matchmaking video on Monday, pairing the Sanderson sisters with other Disney villains who I think would be their perfect romantic match, or Disney characters who would be their perfect romantic match, anti-heroes, villains, whatever. I'm gonna give each one of them a romantic love interest, and you guys can say whether or not you think they'd be compatible. I'll give you my reasons that they are compatible, and that's just gonna be a fun little video that we're gonna do on Monday, because I'm really, really anticipating a teaser, and if I'm wrong, we have just done a really goofy video for absolutely no reason. So, we'll see what happens. But that's gonna be Mondays, is, Hocus Pocus matchmaking. Just because I thought it would be funny, and it could tide me over in case, you know, the thing drops, and then I'm panic uploading that week going, I gotta upload! I gotta upload the teaser trailer dropped! My boss at work was actually getting on to me today, because I have not taken, like, hardly any of my personal time, and I need to use it. I really need to use it. I'm the employee who's just like, I don't take off unless I'm sick, or if I actually have plans to do something. I just don't take time off whimsically. That's just how I am. So that would probably be the day I'm like, I gotta take a couple hours of personal time, I gotta go. I gotta go do my other job. I gotta go do the YouTube thing. It's a teaser trailer drop. I gotta go. It'll be funny. I'll just be like running out of my job, and everybody's gonna be going, teaser trailer must have dropped. So yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. I'm probably wrong. I've been wrong before. Guys, we need it. So, oh my god, we're going on an hour. I need to wrap this up. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for participating. I have a lot of more fun content coming down the track, including more meme reviews. I want to do a fan art review at some point. That might be coming down the line sooner rather than later, because fan art is so much fun. Real quick rule for that, PG. PG. Please and thank you. Before we even cross into that territory. So, I think that's going to be coming down the line pretty soon. I'm waiting for that trailer. Holy moly. I think we're getting close, guys. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. Like I said, if we can hit September 15th by 1,000. It's been a long day. If we can hit 1,000 subscribers by September 15th, we'll be doing a full live streamed watch along of Hocus Pocus on the channel, where we'll hang out in the chat and we'll all do commentary and we'll talk. It'll be a lot of fun. But the ultimate goal is 1,000 subscribers by the time Hocus Pocus 2 drops on tentatively October 1st. I'd love it if we could hit that, because I'm going to do a full watch along of Hocus Pocus 2 on the channel I want to say that same day, but it'll probably be the next day, because I'm going to have to edit, and editing Casey is probably going to have way too much fun with those subtitles. I'm already anticipating that. On camera me is going to get so much crap during that one, and it's going to be so much fun for editing me. I want to have 1,000 of you for that. I really do want to have 1,000 of you here for that, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be so great. And then after that, it's just going to get crazy nutso, and you guys are going to want to be here for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're a regular on the channel, please share your thoughts to any of these comments down below. I keep wanting to wrap it up, and then I keep forgetting half of my outro. Share your thoughts down below on all of this, on my answers, on answers you'd have, anything like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Casey Zelgelman, aka the 4th Sanderson sister, and I will see you guys next time.
I have put a spell on you.